From politics, governance, health, education, business, and other trending issues right here in our country, Nigeria. My name is Michael Inyang, and yes, we'll talk about today. We'll talk about the PDP's convention that happened yesterday in the ancient city of Ibadan. Well, the PDP convention, the held in Oyo State, had recorded notable absences as several key figures stayed away from the event. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas, all elected on the platform of the PDP, were conspicuously missing from the convention grounds. Their absence sparked discussions within political circles, considering their strategic roles in the party's structure and ongoing internal dynamics. Also absent was the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, whose influence remained significant within the opposition party. In all of this, another drama also happened, and that's the expulsion of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and 10 others from the PDP at the convention yesterday. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has said, well, this one you guys people are doing, you are on your own. He withdrew himself from the event. Well, joining us live to review deeper into all of these controversies that happened in Ibadan. Yesterday, we have the former ambassador for Philippines and a former director of the NTA, BCOS, who is PDP, one of the PDP founding fathers. We have Dr. Akinyemi Farobi. Doctor, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Michael. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much for being a part of the program this morning. Dr. Akinyemi, let's go from the root, or let's start from the root. I mean, how did we get here? PDP drama every day. And we don't know if this started after Jonathan left power. But then we're supposed to see a PDP, an opposition PDP, and not this scrambled PDP. How did we get to this point as PDP? How did PDP get to this point?
Thank you very, very much. When we're putting the PDP together, we're thinking of national stability. A party that will be an umbrella for all Nigerians. A party that will accommodate all Nigerians.
But the umbrella is leaking right now.
Pardon?
I said the umbrella is leaking right now. Rain can...
Yes. So this was the understanding. And we decided on three things then. We wanted a big party that would make sure that the military could never come back. So it didn't matter the ideology. About 7 groups assembled together, different ideology, but representing different interests in the country, so that we can have a big and stable party that all Nigerians will feel at home there and make it impossible for the military to come back. That was our number one goal. Our second goal was that there must be a power shift, that the North had dominated governance in Nigeria for so long, and that the South had not been represented. As at that time, we had only 6 months of Irunzi and 3 years, 7 months of Obasanjo. So that was the second thing. The third was that to make power accessible to all parts of Nigeria, we will rotate the presidency from the north to the south and from the south to the north. These were the 3 fundamental principles which joined all of us together. It wasn't economic ideology. It wasn't any dogma, but these 3. So as soon as PDP started violating any of these 3, you call it a foundational error. That means the foundation was already breaking.
Faulty.
And when did it start? We had 8 years of Obasanjo, and it was to be followed by 8 years of the North. Incidentally, we had President Yar'Adua there, and unfortunately, God did what he knows how to do. He took Yar'Adua away after 2 years. And because of the constitutional arrangement, And you know how difficult it was. If I had to get Jonathan in, we had to have the doctrine, all kinds of strike, all kinds of demonstration before we could get Jonathan to complete the remaining 2 years of Yar'Adua. Actually, the error now started from that point.
Okay.
Because after completing the 2 years of Yar'Adua,
So
the
PDP hero started from Yar'Adua.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
After completing those 2 years, the natural thing, according to the rotational principle of PDP, was the presidency to go back to the north. But we didn't do that. We said, let Yar'Adua contest. So Yar'Adua, Jonathan contested.
Okay.
I had another 4 years, making 6 years, plus the 8 years of Obasanjo, making 14 years, against 2 years from the north. We broke the foundation of PDP. But when Jonathan now insisted that he must have the first choice of refusal, and he now wanted to contest for another 4 years, that would have given him 10 years, and that would have given the South 18 years against 2 years of the North. PDP betrayed its original foundational principle. And that was at the time that there was a lot of betrayal within the PDP. And that was what led to the loss of the election by Jonathan. Because the North in PDP, even though they didn't leave massively the PDP, they stayed there and worked against Jonathan because they thought, and I believe they were right, that it was wrong for the South to want to run 18 years when the North had only 2 years. So the national chairman of the party, a lot of the members of the national working committee, national executives, betrayed the party candidate and worked for Buhari. And you recall that at that time, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar also led 5 governors to walk out of the national convention of the party that was holding in Abuja. So to form what they called the new PDP, and they walked out, supported Buhari because PDP stopped being faithful to its rotational policy. That was where the umbrella got torn.
So what?
You are very right.
Why did they stop being faithful to the rotational policy? Let's even look at that, because we're trying to go to the foundation of where PDP problem started.
Yeah.
So why did they fail to follow the rotational policy?
The reason was that as soon as Jonathan became president, I mean, he had a lot of position, a lot of posts, a lot of appointments to give, and a lot of people just kept quiet. I remember then that they didn't even allow for any candidate to oppose, as an aspirant, to oppose Jonathan within the PDP. That was an error. They say, oh, because he has been president for 6 years, he must be the one to have the first right of refusal. Unless he says he's not going, no other aspirant can come. That was a major error. Because by the time you had his own 6 years, as at that time, to Obasanjo's 8 years, that was already 14. And the Nova had only 2. And we started by saying that this party will make presidential power available on equal and equitable basis to all parts of the country. And that if the South does 8 years, the North will do 8 years, and like that. But the South was not doing 14 years and was still wanting to do another. I mean, I don't get 14 years, I was wanting to do another 4 years. I think it was a foundational error. It was the weakness of the party. It was because the president had become the leader of the party, making the national chairman almost irrelevant. I mean, the national chairman was
is the president not automatically supposed to be the chairman of the party?
It shouldn't be. You see, the system we are running. If you go to the Second Republic and you take a party like the National Party of Nigeria, when President Shagari was president and Akinloye was national chairman, Shagari was not the leader of the party. He was the leader of the government. Akinloye was the leader of the party. And if they wanted to hold any party function, the number one party member was Akinloye. Then the president will follow. They never had the party executive or the party working committee of MPN in the presidency at all, or in his residence. No. All meetings were in the party's office or in the party chairman's residence. That elevated the strength of the party executive. But by the time we brought in Baba Obasanjo, and given his own nature as a military man, given his own character, he imposed himself on the party.
Dr. Akinyemi, if I get you right, this is to say, just like you've mentioned, that Obasanjo is the one who created all of this. Well, you said it started from Yaradua, but then Obasanjo also added to it. Is that what you say? Is that what you mean?
He had his own, because it was he who made the president superior to the party. It was he, if you remember that story, that went to Aduogbe's house and demanded that he should sign a resignation letter. You know, the national chairman of the party became just like an appointee of the president. That wasn't supposed to be so. The national chairman of the party was usually elected at a convention.
But APC are playing to that tune, and yet they are standing strong.
Let me get you again.
I said APC are playing by that directive, and they are standing strong.
Well, let's wait and see. You see, when somebody who carries the flag of the party becomes stronger than the party, it is going to create problems. And I can tell you that it will create problem for APC eventually.
It didn't create problem for Buhari.
They have already
begun. It didn't create problem for Tinubu in 2 years.
Of the PDP.
Buhari used 8 years. There was no problem with that. Tinubu now is on.
That was the character of Buhari. Buhari is not a forceful character. He never really interfered in the affairs of the party.
But he was instrumental to Ganduje.
He had a... Come again?
He was instrumental to the party's chairman in the APC, Ganduje and the likes.
You know, he had one party chairman almost all through, except when Oshiomhole was there.
Yes.
You see, you didn't have this obtrusive role of the president. You remove a party chairman like Ganduje has been removed, and you put a minister of yours there. Can that minister who has been your appointee before, who has not been appointed as a national chairman, can he exercise any control over that president? No.
Well,
you see, you must be able to separate the party, where we are not running a parliamentary system. This is a presidential system. The party provides the platform for all the candidates to emerge. The party creates the manifesto. The party creates the ideological foundation. Once the party is unable to do this, and it becomes manipulated by whoever occupies the executive power, the party gets weak. And then you move the meetings from the party office, you move it to the villa, and so on and so forth. And you find that almost everybody in the party executive also is an appointee of the government in a board or in a ministry and so on. So they lack the courage to be able to face the man who had appointed them into some busy positions in corporations and commissions. This is the fundamental error.
All right.
He started with Papa Obasanjo. That didn't have time so much to interface or exert any, what would I call it, undue influence on the party. Jonathan was a quiet and humble person, but we have already created a situation in which there is a marriage of all the powers within the party and within the government and the president. I mean, we were on our own created a possibility of a despot, and that affects any party.
All right.
So that affected PDP. Otherwise, the normal thing, even if they were going to give Jonathan the opportunity for a second term, which would have meant that he would have been president for 10 years, they ought to have allowed other aspirants to compete. Because even in 1998, when we have decided we wanted power to shift to the South, there were still Northerners who said they were going to contest. I mean, Abubakar Rimi was one of them. Nobody muzzled him out of the party, but we just demonstrated our will that the party had decided the president must come from the South, and when we got to the Congress, we demonstrated that by a massive support for Obasanjo as a candidate. That is what a party does.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Akinyemi Farabi, former ambassador to Philippines and also one of the founding fathers of PDP. Well, you said it, the errors of PDP started, minor, begin with Yaradua and also majorly with the President Olusegun Obasanjo. But let's go into recent development from the PDP. Well, they had at their convention on Saturday over the weekend, and during the convention, so many drama unfold. The FCT Minister was expelled. 10 other people also were expelled. Let's listen to this, and we will come back. This was being done. It was Chief Bode George who made the announcement, and tongues have been wagging after that. Well, let's listen to this, and then we'll come back.
Motion the expulsion of the following persons from the People's Democratic Party for anti-party activities and gross breaches. The following members: His Excellency Wike, His Excellency Ayo Fayoshe, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, Honorable Umar Batur, Adeyemi Ajibade SAN, Muhammad Abdurrahman, Senator Mao Ohabua, Honorable Austin Wachuku, Abraham George Turner, and Chief Dan Obi. Regards and respect the eyes of the public on account of despicable conduct of the former governor of Oyo State and these men he recruited to help him destroy the party, contrary to Articles 58 subsection 1, subsection B, and subsection I of our Constitution. I, Chief Olabode George, hereby move that this convention should expel this person so mentioned above from the People's Democratic Party.
Yes, that's Chief Bode George reading out names of those who've been suspended for anti-party activities and also gross misconduct. Well, in the wake of this, let's also listen to one man in River State who also had called out PDP or had put some blame on PDP, and that's Governor Siminalayi Fubara.
In our state today, we're no longer doing party, we're doing a movement. So don't blame me if I didn't go the side of the party so much. The party has failed us here. So what we're doing now is to stand with our two legs. You know, in our state today, we're no longer doing party, we're doing a movement. So don't blame me if I didn't go the side of the party so much.
All right. Dr. Akinyemi, I'm sure you heard that comment from Chief Olabode George and also from Fubara. Well, first, what are your thoughts on this? Before we go deeper into this conversation, what are your thoughts, Chief Olabode George?
Well, the way I look at it, yes, the National Convention, maybe the highest organ of the party, can expel anybody.
Okay.
But of course, as People's Democratic Party, has the process of the expulsion be subjected to internal democratic processes? Somebody must be found guilty of an offense. I mean, Bode George read out the offenses. Somebody who is guilty of an offense must have had an opportunity to defend himself. His defense must have been considered and must have been considered unsatisfactory before you begin to punish. I am not sure that these processes were probably complied with. It is obvious that Minister Wike has not been operating what would appear to be the best interest of the PDP. But if I were in their shoes, we will first have to look at, there must be something that led Wike. Wike almost solely funded that party for more than 6 years. Solely. When Secondus was in party national chairman.
Yeah.
So if suddenly somebody who
so is that a reason for somebody to be bigger than the party?
No. What I'm saying is this. If somebody has been funding the party, and so then you find out what is wrong. What was wrong? What was your solution to what was wrong? What was wrong was that Wike and Governor Makinde and I think 3 others
the G5
said it was time to bring the presidency to the South after 8 years of Buhari northern rule. But the party apparatus then, under Iyosha Ayu, refused and presented a northerner, Atiku Abubakar, as the candidate. It was a violation of the candidate. It was a violation of the foundation principle.
So instead of bringing somebody from the South, and they had to bring in Atiku and all. Do you support that?
Of course, it was wrong. It was a violation of the, what I would call the foundational cardinal principle of the party.
So the ticket was not supposed to go to Atiku?
I had 8 years of the North. I want to have another 4 years of the North. It didn't make sense.
Okay, all right.
So they violated that principle. And I thought they never really succeeded in solving that problem. And because that party has become so indisciplined, because when Atiku went with 5 governors, there was no disciplinary action against them. When Bukola Saraki migrated away from the party to go to APC to become Senate leader, nothing was considered amiss. There was no disciplinary action. So the party had become a party of all comers. Anything goes. And I think that's why Wike is doing what he's doing. That people had done that before. Atiku had migrated in and out of that party more than twice. When he was vice president, he contested on the platform of ACN. He was incumbent vice president. What did PDP do? Nothing. So it has become a massively indisciplined party. It is a good thing that they are trying to rediscover themselves to discipline. But I hope that they gave opportunity for people to explain why they were doing what they were doing, and that the party itself will be taking action to redress such things. A repetition of a continuing repetition of the violation of the foundational principle of the party will begin to make the party to decay, and that is what had happened. I think it's a good thing that they rediscovered themselves and wanted to discipline those they think are no longer working the interests of the party.
Let me put this to you.
Hope they give them the opportunity to explain or to defend themselves before the party took the final decision.
Okay, Dr. Kinyemi, the likes of you, Jerry Ghana, Bukola Saraki, and all, where were you when all of this were happening? While the founding fathers of PDP, why did they decide to fold their hands and watch all of this happening?
It was because the founding fathers conveniently got marginalized away from the center of the party. You know, something happened in Nigeria. You know, there was a shift away from principle into money. You had to have money to be able to contest for elections. It was your bank account that mattered, not the principle, not even the loyalty to the party. So a lot of people who never knew what led us to form PDP took over and
they decided to
continuously sideline a lot of the people. You know, and when they got sidelined, they almost were sidelined into position of irrelevance. So the occupiers of the central state became the governors. In fact, the governor became so strong that even sometimes the national executive of the party or even the national working committee of the party were, how would I call it, they became tails to the governors. That wasn't the intention. But of course, as soon as Obasanjo became that powerful as leader of the party in the nation, so the governors became so powerful as leaders of the party in their state. In fact, sometimes there will be no primary at all. They will decide who will be local government chairman, who will be councillor.
That's the governors, right?
Yeah, the governors, without reference to the people, because they were looking at what the president is also doing as the national leader. So what you call internal democracy in PDP died completely. I mean, the will of the people became the will of the governors. And that's part of the problem that they still have today. I mean, you saw what Fubara did. You saw the man who was even the chairman of the organizing committee disowning a decision taken in his presence by the...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All of this drama coming out of the PDP seems to be like, this will not be solved in a while. And that's where it's looking out for PDP right now. But quickly before...
You are very right. You know, the convention is a product of conflicting judgment. Courts of equal jurisdiction were given declarative judgment. Another was given injunctions and so on and so forth. That's a legal matter. That is part of the power that the Supreme Court had ruled over.
So PDP matter now will now head in court and not in the boardroom anymore.
Yes.
So very, very unfortunate, I must say. But quickly, let's go to the phone lines right now and hear from Nigerians who want to be part of this conversation right there. We're talking about the PDP convention that happened over the weekend in the ancient city of Ibadan. Well, you can call us or send your message via WhatsApp to 0705 6900 927. 0705 6900 927 or 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Who do we have here? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Usman from Obalende.
Usman from Obalende. Please, let's take it just 1 minute. 1 minute so we can accommodate.
I want to read your PDP man yourself. Salaki and Wike, they are different things. Salaki moved to APC. He became to APC and left to APC. That come made the leader there. Yes, I mean, this week is PDP APC. He said there is going to be the right ticket to start. Okay, now, he said in March again, say if you work for Tinubu, let them service. And you are PDP and APC. It's not at the party. Okay, move to APC, you want to destroy the party because you want to support the two. This weekend, this because of the PDP,